a wristwatch to that baseball. Well, that wristwatch has a signal. Okay, that wristwatch is always time. Okay, so the idea of universal time is that when 1 second elapses for that universal clock, that absolute clock, 1 second has elapsed for the universe. That means 1 second will elapse on this clock, and 1 second will elapse on that clock, regardless of the state of motion of this clock relative to that clock, and so on and so forth. Okay, so for Newton, space and time were both absolute. They were this sort of fixed things, rigid things. Okay, but then the physical problem with that, Einstein came along, and he said, well, that's not quite right. That's not right at all. And these two ideas are, both ideas about the space and time, they're wrong. Okay, and we're going to, in the process of these lectures on relativity, we're going to discover exactly how they're wrong and what is correct. Okay, so Einstein said that space and time themselves are not absolute, but they are relative. Okay, so basically that means that time, for example, time depends upon the motion of the object driven. Okay, so here's an example. So you've got a watch, and I've got a watch, both are identical watches, and we synchronize them, and they're both reading exactly 6 minutes. Okay, and then I go for a walk around the building, and I come back. We put our watches next to each other, and we find that they will find that less time has elapsed for me, my phone behind your phone. Okay, they were originally both reaching exactly the same time. And taking in sync with each other, I go around the walk around the clock, I come back, I find that they're both now right again, but my phone behind, less time will elapse for me, okay, relative to your phone. Okay, so this is a fact of our universe, which we're going to try to understand. Okay, so basically, the first step in trying to understand how time and space are relative, what exactly that means, is to explicitly show the motion of objects, not only in space, like in this diagram, but also in time. Okay, so let me start that now. I'll give you that. So basically, any object, the key point here is that any object, regardless of its state of motion in space, if you enter the moving through moment in time. Okay, so this object here, well, it's not here moving in space, now it's sitting there, it's not moving in space, and yet it's still moving through time. Watch that wristwatch, that thing, I'm moving for that object. And even though I'm at rest, my phone is still ticking, I'm moving forward in time. Okay, so what we need to do is to show an object motion, not only in space, but also explicitly show that motion through time. Okay, and that's a space-time diagram. So let's give you an example here. Okay, so let's suppose that this is Alice, and we're going to take the point of view here that Alice is at rest. It's unlike me to stand here like this. Okay, and Alice has an S-axis, okay, that's the bigger direction to the right. And things can move along her S-axis. Let's go for S-axis. So this is space for you, Alice. Okay, so for example, this could be, say, Bob is standing beside Alice, and then here's Alice, and here's Bob standing at rest. Other things can happen, okay, you have someone over here, say, Catherine, who's running, some steam games, running along Alice's S-axis, in motion, in Alice's space. Okay, or you have people, other people, and so on and so forth. And so, now, this is showing their motion in space. This one is not in motion in Alice's space. This one is in motion in Alice's space. That's why we're going to show the motion through time. Okay, so this is the first one to show that Alice is Alice as well. Alice is at rest, and she's in the same first state, but she's moving forward from her she's Okay, so I'm going to take this diagram in space. So people in space line diagram. So here's the space line diagram, and here's the time line, the vertical line. Okay, so in this vertical line here, we can say this is Alice. For example, here is Alice. At this location, say S equals 0. Say the position 0 here. So this is Alice when her clock reads 0. Okay, this is Alice when her clock reads 1. This is Alice when her clock reads 0. And so on. Okay, so this is a picture. This is a space-time picture of Alice standing at rest. So as time goes on, her position in space doesn't change. It always remains 0. But her time nevertheless takes away. Okay, so this is time according to Alice. And it will be time for this off, and so on and so forth. This is Bob here. Okay, so this is on the world line. This is a picture of Alice's trajectory through space-time. Now here's Bob. So Bob is standing on fixed. This is the way Alice was there. But the distance between Alice and Bob don't change. And Bob has his own clock. How would I draw Bob's world line in Alice's space-time? Yeah, well, not okay, right. So actually, that's right. So Bob initially over here. So he retains the same distance away from Alice. What about Bob's clock? What about when 1 second elapses for Alice, take it here and here? How much time will it last for Bob? Are you sure? it turns out that special relativity has absolutely no problem with accelerated observers. And that's exactly how, in fact, Einstein, that was one of the stepping stones in getting special relativity to general relativity in theory of gravity, is Einstein thought about accelerated observers in the context of special relativity. So here's an accelerated observer. Okay, so this is, I don't know, and goes like this. He starts at rest, and then he speeds up, and he rests to the right, and then he rests back like this. It's how I draw and roll on. Yeah. So you start like this. You start moving to the right. And as time goes on, eventually slow down, comes to a rest. At this point, you momentarily at rest. When you're at rest, expect the house, then your world line is vertical, almost not moving in space, just kind of moving, and then he takes up speed in the direction. Okay. So during the time when he's when I said, okay, with respect to your house, there'll be things happening with his time the next year. So you give me a year, then when I'm checking out for hours, I'm checking out for rest. Okay. So that's the main idea of space-time diagram. We'll talk a lot more about this as we go along, and we'll figure out this type of thing. Alice space, and as time moves on. Okay, so Alice Purcell. Well, the picture of Alice Purcell is just a vertical line. Okay, so this is time according to Alice. Okay, and let's see. So this guy, this point over here on this wavefront starts at Alice's location and moves to the right at stage D. So what is this world line in Alice's space-time? How do I draw the world line of that point on the wavefront as it moves from her location to the right? Yep. Yeah, okay. So it's going to be some line that has some slope here. And if the speed of sound is very small, that means it will cover, it will take a long time to cover a small distance. And so the world line of a slowly moving sound wave will look like this. Okay, if the sound wave is moving very, very quickly, that means it covers a great distance in a small amount of time, and the world line will look something like this. Okay, so it's important just to get into your head that world lines that are vertical are at rest with respect to Alice. World lines, as you strip the world line more and more and more, you're representing something moving faster and faster and faster with respect to Alice. This is zero speed, this is infinite speed. Okay, the speed of sound is moving at some speed between 0 and infinite, some finite speed, 100 meters per second or something like that. Okay? Now there's a very, very convenient trick in order to make the world line of a sound wave exactly at 45 degrees. It's somewhere between here and here. It's convenient to choose basically the scale of this axis such that it's at 45 degrees. Okay. So how do we do that? Well, the way we do that is very simple. Instead of plotting time versus space, instead of plotting t versus s, what we plot is c times t versus s, where t is the speed of sound. Okay? So how does that help us? Well, let's see. Suppose that the sound wave, we're watching the progress of the sound wave, and it's moving through Alice's space. And suppose that at some time it has covered a distance t. Okay, so it has gone out to a distance d. So in this picture, as time has gone on, the sound wave has moved to the right and it's moved out, say, to a distance d. Okay, in other words, it's sitting right there. Okay, so what is the corresponding time? How much time has elapsed for Alice? Here, actually, c times time. Well, we can figure this out. The time that has elapsed for Alice. Time is just distance over velocity. So what is that? T over c. So what is c times t? Remember, we're plotting not t versus s, but c times t versus s. What is c times Alice's time? Just d. Okay, so that means that's just d. So if that's d and that's d, well, then this must be 45 degrees. Okay? So very, very convenient to plot ct versus x instead of t versus s. What about this wavefront? What is this world line in this picture? Diagonal the other way. Okay, so as time goes on, the other wavefront moves to the left. Okay, so diagonal the other way, if I'm choosing to plot ct versus x instead of t versus s, it's also 45 degrees. Okay, so that's that. One thing to point out here that's very, very important is, what are the units? What are the units of c times t? Meters. Okay, so, or just a distance. Okay, if I take a velocity times the time, that gives me a distance. I'm using meters to measure distance, that is meters. Okay, so CTA, that has the dimensions of length. Okay, what are the dimensions of SA? Same. Okay, so both CTA and SA have the same dimensions. They're both lengths. Okay, so we can measure both of them in meters or kilometers or light years, whatever. We can measure them in the units of meters. Okay, so in other words, what we've done is we've changed our space-time diagram from, say, seconds on this axis and meters on this axis to meters and meters. We're plotting meters versus meters. We put space and time on the same footing. It's very important. Okay, we put them on the same footing because eventually what we want to get to is the fact that space and time are not separate entities, but they're in fact parts of, just two different parts of a whole.
space-time. Okay, so in Einstein's picture of the world, space and time are unified together. They're welded together into this structure called space-time. So for Newton, space was absolute, and time was absolute. For Einstein, neither space nor time are absolute, they're both relative, and what is absolute is space-time, at least in special relativity. And in general relativity, this space-time itself becomes non-absolute. Okay, but anyways, so we will talk about that as we go along. But the point is, by plotting ct versus x, we're now treating space and time on the same footing. Okay, good. Okay, next. Let's talk about a certain thought experiment. So you may know that Einstein was famous for doing these fantastic thought experiments, which led him to all kinds of amazing insights. We're going to do a very, very important thought experiment here, which is initially going to tell us a little bit about the Doppler shift for sound moving in air, but ultimately it's going to tell us about the true nature of time. It's a very important thought experiment. Okay, it's going to be very, very simple to begin with. What we're going to do is we're going to start down here. Okay, so this is Alice's space axis, okay, and Alice is down here, and Alice is at rest in her space. Okay, so her world line is just a vertical line, so let's put we're converting a space diagram into a space-time diagram. Okay, so Alice's world line just goes up like this. Okay, so we got that. And remember, we're not putting TA here, we're putting speed. Time according to Alice times the speed of sound. Okay, and Alice is at rest with respect to the air. Okay, now we're entering another character, Bob. Okay, so Alice is going to be standing here at rest in her space and at rest with respect to the still air. And Bob is doing something very simple. He's just drifting by her like this at a constant velocity. Okay, so in a space diagram, we would have him walking like this with some velocity. Okay, so that's Bob. Now, let's suppose that Alice's Bob reaches, say, 0 here, or this marks the point at which Bob crosses Alice's path. Now, okay, so at that point, so prior to that point, Bob was to the left of Alice. After that point, he's to the right of Alice. Okay, so his world line will look like what? It's a diagonal to the right. Let's tilt it a bit to the right. Okay, but not too far. Okay, if I can add to this diagram something. So something is moving at subsonic speed. Here's an example of subsonic. Okay, the tilt of the world line from the vertical is less than 45 degrees. Here's something moving supersonic. The tilt of this world line is greater. We're covering more distance in the same amount of time, and we're covering faster than the speed of sound. Okay, so we're going to see that Bob is moving at less than his velocity v is less than the speed of sound, so he's subsonic. So his world line will be tilted at less than 45 degrees. Okay, so we got that, and this is Bob's parameters. So as Alice's clock ticks, there are 2 clocks on here, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, so on. As Bob's clock ticks, that's 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, so on. Okay, so we got that. The next thing is, what we're going to do is, we're going to imagine this situation. So Alice is at rest there. Bob is drifting by like this. Okay, the instant that they cross paths, they both zero their clocks. They hit zero when their stopwatches. Bob continues drifting like this. Okay, and then at some point, he's just drifting like this. Okay, now from Alice's point of view, what she does is, after Bob crosses her path, she looks at her watch and she waits a certain amount of time. Say T, say capital T. So it's another sign, capital T, on her watch. And then she clasps her hands like this, which sends a sound signal chasing after Bob. Because Bob is moving at less than the speed of sound, that sound signal will eventually catch up to Bob and hit Bob. And Bob will hear that sound signal. Okay, and as soon as he hears that sound signal, what he does is he clasps his hand and he sends a sound signal racing back towards Alice. Okay, so that's the experiment. Okay, so the first thing is, from the time that Bob crosses her path, she lets Bob drift to the right for a certain amount of time, say capital T on her watch. Okay, so what is, where do I put that point on the CT axis? So let's say here. Okay, because we're going C times T, we call it C times T. Okay, so at this point over here, Alice sends a sound signal, she claps her hands and sends a sound signal chasing after Bob. Okay, so how do I draw that sound signal chasing after Bob? 45. Okay, so this guy's going at 45 degrees like this. And it is Bob over here, so that's 45. Okay, so, and now, that sound signal chases after Bob, eventually reaches Bob, hits Bob, and then Bob sends a sound signal back to Alice. So this is an extremely important point, so we're going to look at it. So Bob is drifting like this, okay? He hears the sound signal, say, at this point, and then while he's in motion, he goes 10, and he clasps his hands, he sends a sound signal chasing back towards Alice there. The question is, with what speed does Alice reckon that sound wave is coming after? Yeah. Okay. Any other ideas? So you can say, here's my track. Because he's in motion to the right like this, when he clasps his hands like this, it's not totally, maybe not totally obvious what the speed is going to be, or what speed Alice is going to measure. Okay, so maybe it's the speed C minus D. Any other ideas? The same speed to the C. Okay, so we say it's just C. We say it's C minus D. We don't know. That's not good, okay. So the fact is, the speed is just C. Okay, it's a very, very important point. So let me just write this down, and then we'll talk a bit about this. Okay, so I want to make a statement here. Actually, I'll do it over here. Okay, so this is a very important fact to do with sound in here. Okay, so what's being said here again? So with respect to, let me read this out. For observers at rest, with respect to the air, the speed of sound that they measure is independent of the motion of the source of that sound. Okay, so in this, so the statement is that although Bob is in motion, here he is drifting relative to Alice, relative to the air. When he clasps his hands, the sound, the way that he emits in all directions, the speed of that sound will be measured to be C for someone at rest with respect to the air. The reason for that is that sound is a vibration of air. Okay, so when I'm at rest here and I tap my hands, what am I doing? Well, basically I'm sending out a bunch of air molecules. Okay, and those air molecules come the neighboring molecules and cause them to jiggle. And those then in turn cause the neighboring molecules cause them to jiggle. So it's like a domino effect. So when I go like this, I'm causing a domino effect of air molecule vibration going out in all directions. And that air, those vibrations move with the speed c, the same in all directions. If I'm a moving source, if I'm walking like this, and I clap my hands like this, if I clap my hand, I set up some disturbance in the air. Okay, now I might move on like this, and my hand might go out of here, and I'm like this. I'm a source in motion. But as soon as I set up a disturbance like this, then that disturbance takes on like this own, okay, and it moves, it expands in a sphere centered at the point of the disturbance. Okay, so let me show you a little atlas here, which might make this a little bit clearer. Showing you the Doppler effect. So if you know what Doppler effect, what is Doppler effect?
It's kind of like on the sound that gets on the source, but then how far closer it is from different, and then
okay. How far closer you mean how motion? You mean how fast or slow?
Yeah, how much is slow going?
Okay. So if something is moving toward you, then we can see a sound is
okay, so what am I just shouting?
Right. So the classic example is an ambulance. So here's an ambulance. So this ambulance is showing you an ambulance moving along here. And the ambulance is emitting sound waves. Okay, so it's like the ambulance is tapping this. So it's moving towards the sound. Notice that each time the ambulance emits a sound wave, it creates a disturbance there in that location. Now that location is going to create that disturbance. And it's going to move creating a no direction centered on that location. Is there a sound wave created? There's a sound wave created. There's a sound wave. And once it sets off disturbance in the air, then that wave moves with respect to the air. Okay. So there are two things going on here. One of them is the Doppler function. Okay, so you'll notice that here's our observer, and here's the sound wave coming from our observer. And the wave fronts are closer together on this side. So the wave fronts are washing over our observer moving really fast. So when the ambulance is approaching, we have an increase in the frequency of sound the ambulance. When the ambulance is receding, we'll notice the distance between those wave fronts is now greater. And the wave fronts wash over our observer at a lower frequency. Okay, so when the ambulance is approaching, the pitch is higher. When the ambulance is receding, then the pitch is higher and slower. Okay, so that's definitely an effect. Okay, so the Doppler effect is definitely there, and we're going to try to calculate that. But what I'm trying to focus on here is the fact that the speed of this wave here as it approaches the observer, whether the ambulance is approaching the observer, or receding from the observer, the speed of these sound waves in any direction is the same as what we see relative to an observer at rest with respect to the air. Okay, so that's a very, very important concept to have in your mind. So I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? Are you okay with that? Yeah. So no matter what the source of it is, if I had rest with respect to the medium, and you got a fire, you're running around the room doing this, we wait before you so on. I look at all my Doppler effect. You're running the fire, you're running away with and so on. But if I were to measure the speed of that sound once it's created, it moves, but a domino effect relative to still air. So the speed of that wave is always seen in any direction. Yes. What is the speed relative to the light motion? So what is the speed of sound? It's the same thing or the speed of sound for it can yeah. But it'll change. So if you're saying a source at rest, you're fine at rest, I will measure some speed, right? If you're moving forward or away, it doesn't matter, I'll measure the same speed. But now if I start moving relative to the air, so that's a whole different story. Now say you're a source at rest, you're sending sound waves to me, they're moving the speed c relative to the sound, like relative to the air. If I'm now moving relative to the air, where's the other plus c by moving this plan? Okay, so very important if you're always at 5, then you're at rest with the air. So from there, you said it was like a vertical line. It was a zero, increase in velocity across like the x. Would that be light speed at the x within like no time will pass once you get light speed? So here's something to get here. So yes, it is true that when something is moving at the speed of light, if something is massive, it's moving at the speed of light. In which case, yeah, basically the time dilation effect becomes extreme, and basically no time elapses. So if you're a photon moving across the room, it takes you no time to get from there to there. No time elapses. In fact, you can travel across the entire universe in no time. So we'll talk about that later. In this picture, all we're thinking about is sound in here. We get that concept there first. Okay, so picture all that. When Bob claps his hands in here, he's a moving source. He's drifting out like this. He claps his hands, sends a signal back to Alice. With what speed is Alice letting that sound wave coming out of it? C. At what angle like Rob, this might be back. That's super important. This angle here is really important. Okay, so we got that. And what else can we do with this diagram? Well, we're going to add a few more details to this diagram. That we're going to add some distance to velocity from sound. So Bob is moving with some velocity to the right. Okay, so let's suppose that when Bob receives that sound signal, he has covered a certain distance d in Alice's stage. Okay, so he receives a sound signal when he has traveled a distance d. So that's a d sitting there. Okay, so if this distance is d, and that's 45 degrees, what is this distance? It's very important. Okay, that's something you need to resist. Because we're measuring x, or any space and time, both in meters and c times t. This is in meters, that's in meters. Okay, so that's t, that's 45 degrees, that's t also. Okay, t meters. What about this guy over here? Also t. Okay, so we have that. And what else can we add this diagram? Let's find this expression for t. We'll do a little bit of like time pass between the tertiary class. Like when they not form a perfect triangle, like that. Because the time it takes off the process. Yeah, so we're going to find. So in other words, another way to think about that is Alice like this, sends the sound wave here, and Bob has a big board here, and just like that. So there's no way to find it all. What do we think about this? Okay, so there's no time limit. Alright, so we got that. So let's talk a little bit about the relation between this distance and this velocity. Okay, so we know that this is d in velocity times time. So what am I going to put for velocity? D. What am I going to put for time? Look at this picture. Well, it started at Alice's location. By the time you receive that sound signal, he has traveled the distance d. How much time has elapsed for Alice? How much time does this? So Alice reckons that Bob receives that sound signal when he is located at distance d from her, and a certain amount of time has elapsed for her. How much time? Yes. So it's this time over here. So Bob crossed her path, and he moved the distance d. How much time did it take? Well, this whole time. Okay, so it's ct plus d. Okay. But that's c times the time. I need to divide by c to get the time. So we got that. So here in this formula here, there's a d there, there's a d there, and what you can do is you can solve for d. I'll leave that as an exercise for you to do. So in fact, what we want to solve for is the ratio of d divided by ct. And so what you get is d over c divided by 1 minus d over c. Okay, so I won't go through that simple algebra. You can do it later on tonight if you want. This is a very important equation we will use many times. Okay, this is equation number 1. All right. And finally, we get to the really important part of this figure, and that is how much time elapses for Bob. From the time he passes Alice's location to the time that he receives the path. You remember, Bob is drifting across Alice's frame. As soon as he drifting past Alice in her space, as soon as he passes Alice's location, he zeroes the clock. Time is ticking for Bob. Tick, 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 tick. That sound wave comes, hits him, boom, and then how much time elapses on Bob's clock? So according to this diagram, how much time is that? Here. D plus C. Yeah, so it seems to be this, right? D plus CT. Okay, so that's assuming that when 1 second lasts for Alice, 1 second lasts for Bob. Okay, but I'm not sure about that before, right? I'm not sure about that. Okay, and in fact, when Bob is moving out with Alice, when 1 second lasts for Alice, I'm pretty sure that 1 second lasts for Bob. Because we actually don't know how much time it lasts. We don't make the assumption about universal time. That when 1 second lasts for one person, 1 second lasts for everyone. Okay, so in fact, what we'll do is we'll just say, well, we don't actually know what it is. But what we do know that it's proportional to this time. Okay, how do we know that? Well, let me just draw this diagram a little bit. So Alice waits a certain time ct, and then she gets that snowtail, which travels 45 degrees. And we're interested in how much time elapses on the clock. Here's the clock, tick, 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 tick. Okay, well, suppose we don't make the assumption of universal time. Suppose we don't make the assumption that it's simply this amount of time. Okay, if we don't make that assumption, one thing you can assume, though, is that it is proportional to this time. So it's some proportionality factor, some proportionality constant k times ct, where k is an unknown constant, which we will determine. Okay, and why is it proportional? Well, suppose that I were to double, suppose that Alice were to, instead of waiting times ct, suppose she were to double that time, and wait times 2 times ct. Okay, and that sounds like almost 45 degrees, and it's pretty obvious that if you double this guy from here to here, you're going to double this guy from here to here. So whatever time elapses for Bob is going to be proportional to ct. We don't yet know what that proportionality constant is. Okay, so this k is an unknown proportionality constant. So clearly it depends on the velocity. Okay, we're going to try to figure out how it depends on the velocity. K is directly related to the Doppler shift in this experiment. It's also going to give us some deep insight into the nature of time. All right, so let's try to figure out what k is. Okay, let's get a column here. All right. So we're going to determine k through 2 different means. Yeah. CT is the angles. Do you mean this angle here? Yeah, because like doing say that it's 45 degrees from the top angle. Yeah. Well, I think this is 45, and then that element here is 45. Well, okay, so you know this guy, you know that's 45, so this is 135 or whatever, and you know this angle is so big. So then you can apply some triggers and figure it out. Excellent thinking. So why don't you do that? Okay, so what you're saying is if I sign like this,